Enjoy 1% merchant commission when you accept Lanka Pay cards. Contact these banks today.
Welcome to Times Online. Today we are on a slightly different trajectory discussing on artificial intelligence. And to discuss these areas, we have Mr. Vinod Samaravikrama, technology expert, the director of Agendo Innovation, an AI startup. Welcome to Times Online, Mr. Samaravikrama. What is this fascination with AI?
AI is the most talked about two-letter word in the world right now. The AI is going to be the fourth industrial revolution as well. So it'll bring a lot of new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, new ways of meeting people's needs and wants as well. So
Mr. Samaravikrama, how can Sri Lankan economy be developed through AI?
there are billions of dollars of investments are going into AI, and even our neighboring countries like in Singapore, Indonesia, Korea, and Malaysia, they are investing a lot on AI and to harness AI technology. So yes, we also have an opportunity in Sri Lanka. We can use AI to in the future as well. One is enhance productivity. How can we use AI to enhance productivity? Second part is, can we use AI to reduce our inefficiencies? So thirdly is the, can we use AI to innovate more? Finally, I think the, how can we use AI to develop our intellectual capital. So I think those are the broad four areas in my view where we can use AI.
Which also brings me to a dilemma here. Is Sri Lanka ready for this? Is Sri Lanka ready for AI?
Yes, but if you look at the advancement happening other part of the world, we may not be ready like US or Japan or Korea, but it's important that we start. So I see a lot of startups, a lot of companies actually using AI even now, but I think we have to do more. Most importantly, while we are focusing on private sector, it's important that the government sector embracing AI technology, carry out their day-to-day work and improve the efficiency and reduction of cost and innovation, and as I said, build government sector intellectual capital as well.
That itself is a very large ask, if I may. But which also brings me to the next question. What are the challenges that you foresee in implementing this type of AI technology in the country?
The challenges are broadly, I think, number one is the infrastructure. So AI technology needs technology like, more data centers, faster internet. The AI is purely driven by the data. So the other challenge I see is the digitalization of Sri Lanka. So there's only limited areas in the, especially in the government sector, is digitalized. So in order for AI to use more effectively, we need the right and the quality data. So that will give the right output for us to make decisions and then take the AI and leverage in solving different problems in Sri Lanka.
Mr. Samaravikrama, just to interject. So again, where does Sri Lanka stand in terms of this whole AI landscape?
I think we are in the initial stages. We are not too late, or the boat bus hasn't gone already. It's actually just now only starting. So it's the right time for us to look at as a national agenda to drive AI into our day-to-day activities and build Sri Lankan economy leveraging AI.
Thankfully, we haven't missed the bus on that one. But how can we change our mindset, especially in the government sector, to embrace these things? Is that utopia?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you a classic example. Like in Singapore, the last year budget, they have passed $1 billion for AI. So 500 million goes to building infrastructure, like chipset, the data centers, the connectivity, and all the so on and so forth. But the balance 500 million goes to develop the skills of people, supporting the small and medium term businesses to adopt AI. So they have built a program to, one is to upskill their people, including the elderly people, so that everyone is well aware of AI and how to use AI as well, because the small and medium term is the backbone of the even any economy, right? So how can we help the small and medium term business to leverage AI in a better way so that they can actually improve efficiency, reduce costs, and they can make money and be competitive. So I mean, then we will be more competitive in the global market.
Could you please unpack on how AI can reduce costs?
One is we need to bring AI to identify areas where we can automate. So the daily routine task has to be automated, so that will reduce for example, the labor cost. It will reduce the wastage, and it will give more time a person to do more strategic stuff, so that they can actually use that time to better use to do something better. So overall, these kind of activities, supply chain for example, so you can actually optimize supply chain. Actually they can reduce their sourcing cost, for example. So there are a lot of ways that you can actually reduce costs using AI.
You yourself have founded a startup. So, in terms of this startup innovation space, how can AI drive it?
You're right. So the Gendo Innovation, we founded in 2014. It's a non-invasive technology. We actually use the hardware and then the cloud data. Using AI, we give a prediction of your cardiovascular health. So like even in that smaller scale we have been using, and then I have seen a lot of startups in Sri Lanka and even government sector, Brandix and Mars, and they are also heavily investing in AI. The challenge I see is the government sector coming on board is a little bit slow. So we need to bring government sector to the AI journey, so that actually as a country together we can actually move forward in a more faster way.
For sure. When you take intellectual capital, you mentioned earlier that there are 4 areas. How can you leverage AI to build on this?
In order for me to acquire knowledge, so I have to, in the past I had to read a lot of books and journals, all this stuff to get that. Even in the Google this thing you had to go and research. So now with AI, what we can actually, you can ask your exact question,
Specific questions.
very specific question what you want to know, and then that will give you that answer the way you want it. For example, you can ask any specific something that you don't understand, explain me in a sports term. So the AI will give you that kind of an answer, so that you can actually understand better in your own terms. So similarly, if most of the people in Sri Lanka is aware of these technologies, how to use better for your own benefit, I think that's the awareness and the upskill part we need to do, so that everyone can learn quicker, do research better, and potentially solve problems more quicker than what we used to.
Implementing AI is also a challenge in terms of costs. There's high intensive capital there.
Yeah.
How can you overcome that?
I think there are many ways. We need to have public-private sector partnership. The government can't do this alone. So companies like Dialog, SLT Mobitel, they are in the technology sector. So they are actually building data centers, the technology connectivity, everything. So we have that backbone here. Actually, we can leverage. So we need to have public-private partnership, number one. Now, second thing is, can we partner with the global companies to leverage what they already done, and probably certain countries as well, instead of reinventing the wheel. So we can use that as well. And thirdly, we need to start small. We cannot go all out and do everything AI. So can we identify small use cases so that we can use it and pack these 4 areas, using small use cases, and then build from there. Instead of trying to boil the ocean, let's take small baby steps to get where we want. The fourth, I think we need to build a good governance framework around this AI, because it's going to be a very, very challenging in the future. The data protection, your personal data, all this stuff, even in international context. So it's very important that as a country we put a proper governance framework around AI, which will govern companies, the initiatives and everything in a right manner so that we can actually use it in a better way.
So the current Data Protection Act might not be enough.
That's a good start for Sri Lanka. That's a good foundation. I think we need to build on top of that and build more AI driven frameworks into that as well.
Contrary to popular belief, Sri Lanka is rich in IT graduates. But do you really have that soft skill or that niche talent for building AI?
We have a good talent coming from our universities and schools.
Yeah.
So the issue is there's a lot of brain drain happening as well as we speak. Number one, keep them here. So it's important that we have the right talent in Sri Lanka to drive these kind of initiatives in the future. So we need to build program to keep this best talent in Sri Lanka, number one. Because of AI, there could be areas where people will lose their jobs. So we need to, it's very important that we have program to reskill these people. So that's one of the importance. Most of the countries are right now doing it. So how can we help these people who potentially, when we do the automation and all this stuff, will be, reskilled to do something better. And then even our educational reform has to happen in line with AI. I think recently there was some pilot program running with 20 schools for AI curriculum. But I think we have to accelerate on that journey more and quicker to implement these kind of things across all the schools. And you need to have different programs in different cities, building awareness.
Thank you very much for those insights, Mr. Samaravikrama. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.